There was a man from the hill country of Ephraim named Elkanah. He faithfully traveled every year to Shiloh to worship the Lord Almighty. Elkanah had 2 wives. One was named Peninnah, and the other Hannah. Peninnah had many children, but Hannah had none. Although Elkanah loved Hannah deeply and treated her with special affection, her heart was filled with sorrow. Year after year, whenever they went to the house of the Lord, Peninnah mocked and ridiculed Hannah because she could not bear children. Her cruel words pierced Hannah's heart until she wept bitterly and lost her appetite. Seeing her pain, Elkanah asked, "Hannah, why are you weeping? Why don't you eat? Why is your heart so sad? Am I not worth more to you than 10 sons?" But only God truly understood the burden Hannah carried. One day, after the family had finished eating at Shiloh, Hannah quietly walked into the tabernacle. With tears streaming down her face, she knelt before the Lord. Silently, she poured out her heart. "O Lord Almighty, if you will only look upon your servant's suffering and remember me, if you will give me a son, then I will dedicate him to you for all the days of his life." As Hannah prayed, her lips moved, but no sound came out. The priest Eli watched her from a distance. Mistaking her silent prayer for drunkenness, he rebuked her. But Hannah gently replied, "No, my lord. I am a woman deeply troubled. I have not been drinking. I am pouring out my soul before the Lord." Immediately, Eli's attitude changed. He said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the request you have asked of him." For the first time in a long while, Hannah's face was filled with hope. Soon afterward, the family returned home. Then something wonderful happened. The Lord remembered Hannah. In his perfect timing, God answered her prayer. She gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." Samuel was not just a child. He was God's answer to a mother's faithful prayer. As Samuel grew, Hannah never forgot the promise she had made before the Lord. When the little boy was old enough, she took him back to Shiloh. Imagine the emotions in her heart. After waiting so many years for this precious child, she was now giving him back to God. Standing before Eli once again, Hannah said, "My Lord, I am the woman who stood here praying to the Lord years ago. I prayed for this child, and the Lord granted my request. Now I give him back to the Lord. For his whole life, he shall belong to him." What incredible faith! What remarkable obedience! Then Hannah lifted her voice in worship. "My heart rejoices in the Lord. There is no one holy like the Lord. He raises the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the ash heap. The Lord is sovereign over all the earth." After leaving Samuel in the house of the Lord, Hannah returned home. Every year she came back to visit him, bringing him a small robe she had lovingly made with her own hands. Meanwhile, Samuel continued to grow. He served faithfully in the tabernacle under the guidance of Eli. The Lord blessed Hannah once again with more sons and daughters, but Samuel remained dedicated to God's service. Then one quiet night, everything changed. The lamps in the house of God were still burning. Young Samuel lay asleep near the Ark of the Covenant. Suddenly, a voice broke the silence. "Samuel!" Thinking Eli had called him, Samuel quickly ran to the old priest. "Here I am. You called me." But Eli answered, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." Again the voice came. "Samuel." Again Samuel hurried to Eli. Once more Eli told him he had not called. A third time the voice echoed through the night. "Samuel!" When Samuel ran to him again, Eli finally understood. It was the Lord calling the boy. Eli instructed him, "Go and lie down. If he calls again, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" Samuel returned to his place. The room became quiet once more. Then the Lord came near and called as before. "Samuel, Samuel." This time the young boy answered, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." That night, God spoke to Samuel. It was the beginning of a lifetime of hearing God's voice. The next morning, Samuel faithfully shared God's message with Eli, even though it was difficult. Eli humbly accepted the word of the Lord. From that day forward, Samuel continued to grow in wisdom and favor with God. The Lord was with him. Not one of God's words spoken through Samuel failed. Soon all Israel recognized that Samuel had become a true prophet of the Lord. The God who answered Hannah's prayer was now speaking through the child she had faithfully dedicated to him. Hannah's story reminds us that God hears every sincere prayer. He remembers every tear. He is faithful to his promises. And those who willingly place their lives in his hands can become instruments for his glory. May we, like Hannah, trust God in every season